WWE 2K26 Ringside Pass Season 3 is here, y'all, and we have Matt Cardona, Tori Wilson, La Parka, Brian Pillman, and more additional Ringside Pass content, which we will be getting into detail with Cornell. Shout out to 2K and everybody involved that allowed to make this happen, because we got a lot of answers for y'all here. But before we get into all that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content, because these things are 100% not possible without y'all support. Let's get it. Appreciate my boy Cornell being here for the second time this year, man. Appreciate you making the time, make it here while the NBA playoffs are on, my boy. So
come on, man. Come on, man. My team at home, man. Stop playing. But no, man, no. Thank you for the invite, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Like, you know, like I told you before launch, like, dude, anytime I get to come on your platform and get to talk with you, I appreciate it. Like, I feel like you're very genuine. Like, very upfront and very honest, which I like, and we develop our own relationship to where it's like, you know, we can talk to each other and just be upfront and honest, and which I do appreciate that. So thank you again for letting me come through again.
For sure, bro. It goes both ways. Appreciate you, man. So the big thing, bro. You already know how that go, bro. Ringside Pass, bro. So Ringside Pass, we seen season 1, season 2. We can, I think, from a community standpoint, some people have, like, I think the feedback or the general feedback is that it's been lackluster season 1 and season 2. Now we do have the remaining seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6, with 3 right around the corner at the time that the people are watching this video.
Yes.
So the first thing that I definitely want to start with, Cornell, is the Ringside Pass here to stay?
Listen, I don't speak on like future stuff because I never know what the future holds type of situation. Right. But I'll say this, like with the Ringside Pass, this is like our first time trying out this model, right? And we knew that some adjustments had to be made along the way, which is I also communicated, you know, back when we talked, right? I was very upfront and very honest. And, you know, we did make changes immediately when people were talked about, you know, the amount of RXP that's required per tier. And, you know, we also did provide X amount of gifts, if you would say, to the community to try to make sure that you know, we align with what they were expecting to the best of our ability. Now, you know, also, like, you know, we hope to keep the community happy with like the updates that we're making, you know, and like, you know, we do have a lot of good content to come. Like you talked about season 3. By the time this goes out, it should already be known. But like in season 3, people are gonna have the ability to earn up to 10 new superstars. Well, not new superstars, but 10 additional characters, right? So you're gonna have your 4 DLC superstars, you're gonna have your 2 personas that we already revealed, and you're also gonna get 4 personas on the free track, right? So that they're gonna stagger all the way through, right? And the reason why for that, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but looking at just strengthening up the free tier as much as possible. One, because again, like I told you months ago, like the goal is for players to be able to earn while they're playing without having to switch to the premium or not. I still want you to earn something that's meaningful and valuable. I looked at a lot of feedback for the first 2 seasons, right? And then we were like, okay, the team and we talked. We was like, okay, how can we shuffle this around to make it worthwhile? We know personas are the hot thing, right? The hottest topic. It's like, okay, now there are some previous personas from different releases or stuff like that, or different modes that maybe players weren't able to obtain, or you know, those kind of things, right? So we looked at it from the standpoint of, okay, how can we bring those models back? We get them and to get on purpose, right? And to make it worthwhile to where players don't feel like they have to automatically be in a premium side to get something. So that was a lot more of the thinking there. So like I said, for season 3, it's a lot. Like I said, 10 characters, counting DLC. We do have new moves coming, right? Like the Swanton 450 is in there. Man, we got
something. That one sounds crazy. I don't think I've seen that one yet.
So Swanton 450, like when you see it, you understand why. And then, you know, we got new cast parts. So basically with new cast parts, we took it way back in the time during the nostalgia era when people loved, you know, WCW versus NWO, WCW, you know, Revenge. So we have cast parts that speak to those. We have shirts, you know, hoodies and etc., which I think a lot of the hardcore fans will really like because it speaks to that era. And I think, you know, one of the other things that people will get to see is that when we added, you know, we did switch Kane's theme clearly, right, as we put out on social, right. And to me, I understood, like, I understood both sides. I understood what they were saying to me, right? Clearly, there was like, no, bro, we don't care. We want this, right? And I understand also what they're saying about, well, can I look around, right? So I get that, right? And that's why for me, it wasn't a hard thing for us to go back and talk about and switch it up. But the biggest thing is I did put out this tweet that like his theme Out of Fire that he started using in 2000, right, which definitely bled over to 2001, is available, will be available and create an entrance for free. So you don't need a persona, you don't need to obtain that cane to get it. But there's also going to be another theme song in there too.
So,
right?
so the theme song.
No, it's not Kane though. It's not Kane.
Oh,
so
okay.
So there's a new theme song that will be in there, and it's for AJ Styles. It's Evil, nice Evil Ways from AJ Styles, aka the lone wolf AJ. Back when he back during his TNA run. So we put that in there, and what us doing that, it's just us kind of looking at like, hey, okay, like what is the appetite for that? You know, how are the players going to react to that? So, you know, again, this is kind of an illustration of like we're always trying to like evolve and figure out ways to clearly appease the community, but also like we're not set on just anything. Like we don't mind changing, evolving, and change something dynamic. So, yeah, fun times ahead.
That's fair. So I know you mentioned something about the AJ Styles theme. So is there like an AJ Styles persona in there or
hey,
something?
Man, listen. We got time, man. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of time. Man. Let's see. That is the fun part about being able to do these kind of things. That there's a lot of time left, right? And it's right. Like we have 6 seasons, right? Like we're just now on the horizon of kicking off 3. Right. So I think that's also the thing too. It's like, I know some players, you know, they bring requests a certain amount of things. I'm like, listen, just trust me. just time left. There's a lot of time. We have 6 seasons to go. We're only halfway through. So yeah.
All right, cool. So one thing that people were I had a question for you about like the steps that you guys took, but it seems like you even answered that like in the last question, like on how you guys kind of pivoted, right? Because we saw season 2 bring the Borderlands stuff in there, and there was a very small percentage of people that did like the Borderlands stuff, like, at least on social media. Like I can't speak for anybody that's not on there, but obviously you can't say like if there's anything coming, but do you think like, is that something that the team is still open to, like doing future stuff? Because there were people that like requested this question, like, are you guys still open to more crossovers? I guess is like the question.
I mean, I think so. A couple of things, right? For the Borderlands stuff, I understand how that landed on some people. Like we spoke about, it was negative and positive. But on the backside, it's like you know, we also see the numbers of like matches played and et cetera, and the Borderlands characters were actually used, right? So in my opinion, right? I'm not speaking on behalf of the company. In my opinion, I think from the business side, like the company, like we should always be open to crossovers, right? Now, does that any more crossovers within Ringside Pass? No. So so I just want to make like no, there's no more.
Okay, so that's it for the year.
Yeah, for Ringside Pass, yes. Now, again, they can, you know, other things that happen outside the game. That's not my jurisdiction to say yay or nay to. But within Ringside Pass, it's just no.
Okay, cool, good to know. And I know that in the blog, there was things spoken about championships and arenas. Now, again, we go back to your point of it's still early. So is that something that you can allude to or speak on, or something that, you know, again, we've seen these things go around, right? So we haven't seen that yet. So is that something that is coming in season 3 or?
So in season 1, we had the AAA titles and we had the arenas, right? But one of the things I did want to make sure I communicated early on was that it would not be a consistent thing, right? Because I did not want to set an unreal expectation for our players, because that just wouldn't be fair. Now going forward, like, you know, there is no bonus arena in season 3. However, like, you know, if we can, I think the thing too is like if we're able to, then of course we would try to. But there's a lot of layers to different things, right? It's like, hey, the amount of resources and things that we do to be applied to other things, like, you know, we also have to be forward facing and future facing, right? We have to also look at things like that, right? About what we're going to do for the future and be able to do those kind of things. So if we're able to, of course, right? But everything is not as easy as it seems on the internet, right? I understand that's, you know, the outside looking in, that's its own perspective. When people go to the Magic show, they don't care about how you're doing the trick. They just want the trick to be done, right? And I get that. I wholeheartedly get that because I'm a consumer too, right? But again, it's not something that's completely off the table for us. But again, if we're able to, we will.
Okay, fair. And now, can you allude to any women persona cards? We got man, listen, we got a lot of those.
Which ones, Brian? Go ahead and just ask it, Brian. Which ones, Brian? Which one?
Man, we've seen some stuff on Trish Stratus. We've seen some stuff on Lita, and we can go on and on. I mean, there's people out there that really want the women persona cards, and right now, aside from the Borderlands stuff, because we did get Rhea and we did get Becky, we got Stephanie Recurrent season 1, season 2. Or season 3, we still don't know exactly if there are any women coming, but again, just want to see what you're thinking.
So, season 3, yes, the persona for the women will be Mutiny Asuka. However, to your Trish and Lita point, I don't like to talk about future content stuff because I feel like it's not right for everybody involved. Sure. I will say this. I'll just leave it at that. How can I put this? There's time, and a lot of things are closer than you think. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, fair at that. Now, one thing that we've seen, and that I think is a great thing, going back to your point on the first question with the moves, we've seen these moves being used, commonly outside of the WWE, being introduced into the WWE 2K games. What are the odds that we can see entrance motions or taunts that are commonly used outside of the WWE in the Ringside Pass?
So that's actually a good point and a good question. So when the move stuff. When the move situations are kind of planning, when I'm planning them in the backside, it's like, I work with the team, and I watch all the wrestling, right? As people probably is picking up now. Like I watch a lot of Stardom, a lot of stuff in Japan, etc. Right? Including WWE stuff, right? But my biggest thing is like, as a wrestling fan, I know that also our players also watch a bit of everything, right? So what I want to do, I want to be able to source anything and everything that's possible, but also not make everything feel like the same, right? So that was like more so my thinking. I think for interests and stuff like that might be a little bit more trickier, just solely because, and again, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying it as a factual thing. It might be a little bit more trickier because they belong to personalities, elsewhere, right? Now, granted, there's clearly been stuff within the creation suite that you can tell that, oh, that's so and so. Oh yeah, I can tell. So like I think those are the kind of things that you can like that could happen. But I think as something that we're bringing in as like a generic. Not a generic, but you know what I'm saying, like a unbespoke entrance motion, and then being able to put that in the Ringside Pass and being able to market it and all those kind of things is probably not something we're going to be able to do. Granted, moves are moves, right? Everybody's done moves, right? Everything is used off inspiration from somebody else, right? So, but again, that's a good question. I'm gonna follow up on that, and I'll hit you on the side and let you know what they say.
For sure. Now, this is a question that I'm going to ask you, but I already feel I know the answer to. But I'd rather them hear it from you.
Of course.
Now, have you guys explored the thought of trying to keep up with WWE through the Ringside Pass? Now, I feel like I know, but again, it's more of a thing like, theme songs always change, bro. And I'm not asking for entrance motions. That's, who I'm talking about when I say entrance motions, the man in the room. But again, it's one of those things where I feel that we can possibly benefit from it. And the Ringside Pass as a whole could even benefit from that too, from just the perspective of, okay, at least, they're updating the game, with how WWE is, because that's like the bad thing. Like we play, you play NBA 2K, all them games, and that there's an off season, bro. So we don't have no off season with WWE, which I know is big. So that's why I wonder, is the Ringside Pass ever, is that something that you guys might explore? Are you guys exploring already?
So here's the drawback. Sometimes it's presentation is a package. Right, it's the Trons, it's the light show, it's the entrance motion, and then it's the music. Right. So sometimes the thought behind this updating your music, but not giving players the entrance and giving them the full presentation, it might feel incomplete to where it might be a little more uncomfortable to do that. Now, again, like I spoke about with the 2 theme songs, like we are looking in, like to potentially add in a couple theme songs here and there. I think the thing that players do got to understand that, like, it's not like season 3, just got put together yesterday and it's coming out on the 3rd, right? Like a lot of stuff is planned months in advance because you need that window because of the X amount of work that goes into it. I think sometimes people see things on the internet and they think that it's supposed to be that quick, and it's like it's not that quick. There's approvals. There's a lot of approvals. There's a lot of things that need to be seen. There's a lot of people need to get their eyes on things to say yes. And by that time, then it's like, okay, cool. By the time all that's happened, it's about 2 months, a month and a half, but then sometimes within a time strain that things have passed. So again, I mean, if I would love to, right? Like we would love to, but I think it also just from the standpoint of, do we want people to get the same motion that they already had, just a different theme song? Not what some people might like that. They might, right? Okay, cool. We could look at that. But then if it's like some people might feel like they're not getting the full experience, right? But then it's also like, okay, the other side is like, we forward facing. Okay, now is it better off just hold off and look at another release that is coming afterward to get on the full package where they feel the excitement and they feel the quality of what they're getting versus just just a theme song. Again, not saying yay or nay to that. It's something I'll definitely look into and ask, but just give you my thoughts.
Fair. No, for sure. Now, with the Ringside Pass, one thing this year that people have mentioned, and again, it's one of those things that, in my opinion, is small, but it can get tedious and annoying. A claim all button. Talk to me, bro. Because I've
heard that. I've heard about that. I mean, I've experienced that myself, and I've heard that. Yeah, that's definitely something we're very aware of. So yeah, I got you. I hear you.
Okay, because I just bought the game. I got the game on Switch too, and I was like, bro, do I gotta click through all these again, bro? But
yeah. I got you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So one thing I did want to touch on, bro, and this is more so RXP. Now, RXP, like we went through a couple of changes with RXP. Obviously, offline, it's to the point where, again, it's however you want to play the game. But if you want to just sit there and just get it done, you can probably get it done in a day. Now, being that it's so easy to get it offline, what are the odds, bro, that we can get online lobbies to get the RXP?
So that is actually a conversation that we're having, and we had it. We kicked it up a little while ago, because again, like I told you a couple months ago, like, don't want players to change how they play. Right. You stay in online lobbies, that's your joint. Right. I stay in online lobbies, that's my joint, and the X amount of people. And we definitely got away from that. But it's definitely something that we're looking into to definitely bring to the forefront. So yeah, it's not something that we are, again, like we're still making changes as you mentioned, right? And again, we're in season 3, so it's definitely something that we're looking at completely top to bottom and figuring out ways of how we can also include that to make it work.
For sure. No, definitely understand on that. Now, one thing that I wanted to suggest and see if you guys have explored it. Now, with the packs in the season in the Ringside Pass, because we know that this is a big topic of discussion as well, like how much MyFaction stuff it has. And that's one thing, bro, that is like, all right, the faction tickets, I do want to bring that up after this. Just to get your point and see, like, because I want the community to get clarity at the end of this interview and be like, okay, I see why certain things are being done. Now, one thing that I wanted to discuss was the packs that you guys put in the Ringside Pass, which I don't think there's anything wrong, but have you guys thought of, now that there are pack vouchers in MyFaction, have you guys thought of making those pack vouchers instead? Because since these packs now are out, they could be outdated because the pass stays in there all year. Instead of giving them outdated packs, you can give pack vouchers to people, like even like for somebody like myself or another creator that might, I don't want to open in packs, let me go for this persona card instead and use those vouchers for that. Is that something that's been explored?
I mean, so transparently for me, like I never thought about that avenue. So like taking a step back, Ringside Pass is like it's a collaboration effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not. I mean, that's not something that I'm ashamed of or I'm sad to say. Like, no, it's a collaboration effort, which I really do like, and like I have no problem going to the MyFaction team and say, hey, this is a good idea, like, or hey, this is something that like something that Bryan, something that Bryan talked about, like it's something we can look into. Yeah, I'll take it to them. That's not a problem.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, which is good, right? Like again, like I love any and all feedback and suggestions. Like, please, like, feel free. Because I also think, I'm big on like different perspectives and like other point of view. Because clearly, like on this side, it's clearly a way different perspective than what players are playing. And on your side, as a content creator and etc., it's a way different perspective than everybody else. So,
Right.
yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. I'll take it to them.
Sure, appreciate you. Now, one thing I did want to ask, bro, like out of the season, like Ringside Pass season 3, like what are you looking most forward to for the community to see?
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm very excited for season 3 because again, 10 superstars that can be obtainable. I do like the cast parts. I'm very excited about the things that we're adding in. I'm very excited about the moves that we're adding in. I think it's probably like the most fulfilled season that we've done so far, to be honest. I feel like definitely on like the free side, like the free side has way more value than it had the first 2 seasons, which is definitely something that, like, again, I publicly said that like I want to add a lot more value to that side, and that's what we're definitely looking into doing. But I think the biggest thing that I do like about the Ringside Pass, starting from season 3 on, is that like every season, in my opinion, in terms of like, especially at least from the persona's perspective, will outdo the season before, right? And I'm not saying that this superstar is better than that superstar. It's more so getting closer and closer to what the community wants, right? And getting closer and closer to what they've been asking for. And I think we'll see that, like, for an example, the Kano one, it was a prime example. Like, that was a requested variation of Kane that players have been clamoring for X amount of time. And then in season 4, there will be individuals that players have been requesting for X amount of time. And in season 5, there will be a very, very individual, so which I'm very excited about. Again, circling back to season 3, I think I'm excited for players to experience it as a whole, because this will be the first season since their initiation of 1, but the beginning of 1, where it's like people are starting from 1. So I'm very curious to see how's the progression, how's the flow, does it feel better, right? I think that's what I'm most excited for, just to see what players feel. And I'm also excited to see how they interact with the content that they're getting, because I feel like you got 10 superstars in front of you that you can go ahead and go get. That's a lot different than going to go chase DLC and chasing 2 personas, right? Or if you're not in the premium and you just want to play through, you got 4 other superstars, and again, they're staggered all the way through. From the top to the bottom. So no matter where you're at, you'll definitely get something.
All right, cool. And honestly, my last question to go ahead and wrap it up for you here is, we've talked about this before, but I want to know, what is the thought process? Because we talked, you alluded to it at the very beginning, but what is the thought process behind what people call recycled content, like bringing those persona cards back? Because that's actually a point where I was like, man, like, okay, I understand that they're like, we've seen them before, but I wasn't expecting people to be upset, being that I guess people still don't know at this point that they're in the free tier. But
So I spoke on this when we first talked a couple months ago. There would not be any sort of content that was in previous releases that would be on premium at our period. That would not happen. So, we have Asuka, the Mutiny Asuka, we have the Brock Lesnar 03, we have the Solo Sikoa, and we have
it was Holly, right?
Yes. Oh, my dog. Yeah, but yes. Those are people. I understand the term is recycle. It is ported content that we ported over from previous things. The reason why we do it is solely because, again, not everybody had Tyrese Halliburton last year. Maybe somebody did not pick up the game last year, or maybe somebody did not play all the way through My Rise. They got Mutiny Asuka, or maybe somebody did not complete MyFaction last year and got the Persona version of Solo, right? And of course, clearly same with Brock, right?
Yeah.
So it's more so about just adding more content, adding more value. And the term recycle, it sounds as if they're getting something that's completely devalued. I understand that players also, they just want new stuff on both sides. And I get that. And I understand that, right? I completely understand that. But I'm also not going to devalue content that is still good content, right? Like if at the path that we're going now and what we want to do, I feel like if we can make the free side as strong, not clearly won't be as strong as premium. Clearly, that's why there's two different things. It's being upfront, but if we can add value and add a lot more attention to the free side, I feel like it's a win-win for players, right? Because no matter what you do, you always get something, which was always the goal. Now, the first 2 seasons out the gate, did that get executed well? Clearly not, right? But what happened? Adjustments were made immediately on the fly, and all those kind of things to be able to meet the community halfway and show that we're beyond willing to compromise, right? I sat in front of you and said, listen, this is the first time doing it. We might not get everything right? We're going to go ahead and, make some changes, like open the feedback, let us know, right? And that's what's happening. So I saw feedback regarding personas that some players felt like, they wanted more, right? They wanted more personas and they wanted more content on the free side. So it's like, okay, cool, let's do that. So again, it's not that there's never like no right answer in this because everything is subjective depending on the player and what their appetite is and what they want and what they like. But for me, I'm always gonna, and like not me, the team, we're always gonna sit up here and make sure that we could try to figure out every way that's possible to straighten up both sides to where at least if you are doing on a free tier, you don't feel like it's completely different experience, right? So the recycled content is kind of, to me, it's like, people saw a tweet and I think they ran with that, and that tweet didn't have any context at all, right? It was just like very, very listing out things, and players did not understand what they were looking at. So I think some players thought it was in the premium side, which then they already drew up their own conclusion at the end of the day of what it was, which all didn't even, clearly they felt some type of way. I feel like, putting these things on the free tier does provide value. Like Brock Lesnar 03, that is a good model, right? Now, of course, can we look at it as like the ones that were selected? Like, could they be like, the Oscar, could it have been the WrestleMania version of Oscar? Sure, that's fair, right? I think that feedback is very, very warranted. But again, like it's more so about, for me, it's like the intent is clear, right? The intent is to try to strengthen up both sides, and all this feedback is great, especially as we, season 3 gets lifted off, and a couple weeks into season 3, you're going to start hearing about season 4. Like once you get locked and loaded, there's going to be a reason why you hear about it earlier than you probably normally would. But even with that, it's like, as we are looking at season 4 and putting that together, this is all good feedback for us to kind of say like, okay, cool. We know for a fact that, maybe players don't want the mutiny stuff. Okay, cool. What are other things that we can give them that kind of makes sense, right? Because then you also have to look at from the standpoint that MyFaction also does, bring in these certain personas that were in previous releases, right, for things that they do. So it's like we do have a partnership to where we do have to work with them, right? And which is totally fine. And I respect that because they're doing their thing, right? And I don't want to cannibalize them at all, right? And they don't want to cannibalize us. So we come together and we meet all the time. So, yeah. I mean, like the term recycled content, I get what players are saying, but again, it's not trying to give you recycled content and dance in front of your face like it's brand new. It's trying to just give you more value on that side and more things to engage with. And again, maybe it's not. Maybe the selections isn't what they want, clearly, and which is fine, right? And it's again, it's good. It's good to hear that. It's good for us to kind of go back to the drawing board and just try it again.
Fair. Well, that is good to hear, bro. I do appreciate you coming in here, Cornell. You already know.
Ain't no problem.
Yeah,
I started sweating on that one. God dang, dude, you did well. I started sweating at the end of that. God damn. No, I'm just nah, man. Listen, man, it's good, man. I think like it's season 3. We're in the middle of the launch for 2.5 months, post launch, and I think it's a very important time within the life cycle. Usually at this time, players probably start branching off other places. Summer's about to hit. all those kind of things. And it's like us trying to make sure that we find things that players find worthwhile and they want to stay locked into the game. They want to keep on playing. So I'm very excited to see how the summer shakes out. But again, like I'm telling you, like I got some stuff up these sleeves, and this summer is going to be fun. I guarantee you.
All right, perfect, bro. Well, appreciate you coming by, and we're gonna get up out of here, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe.